Ready? So, for what it's worth, the one that we're looking at to our west-southwest is getting bigger. Not exploding, but it's getting bigger. Actually trying to amble out too. Yes.
Man, what is going on here?
Brandon, how's that look to you?
On YouTube, and we are just on the north side of Kingfisher, northbound, and watching a few cells develop to our west-southwest. Also have another one just to our northwest.
Okay, well there's another tower you might not be able to see on the north side that's going up as well. I can see what you're looking at. The one on the south side looks like it's kind of breaking off in the middle. But the one on the north side is trying again. So I guess you could say it's an area that's at least, it's trying to go. It's bubbling. Alright, so, are we on?
Yes.
Alright. Right now, just to get everybody up to speed, there is a tornado watch issued probably half an hour ago, maybe 40 minutes ago, something like that. And the tornado watch is generally east of a line from, let's say, Anthony, Kansas, down to Fairview, to Watonga, down to Frederick. Basically everything east of that line all the way over to Tulsa. Have you looked to see if it's a PDS watch or anything like that?
I didn't see PDS.
So, we've also got towers going up now, and small storms. There's nothing crazy yet, but there's one near Greenfield, between Greenfield and Watonga. There's also another one up near O'Keene, a little bit north of O'Keene, approaching Ames. So, you know, these are echoes showing up on radar, and nothing has really exploded, taken off yet. The towers, the cap is still pretty strong. I think they're getting impeded a little bit there, but the thing that we've noticed though is another tower will try to go up where that one went up. So there's two areas that are definitely trying right now, and it's those two areas that I mentioned. If this storm, the south storm, let's say, if it gets going, it's going to turn a little bit right, and it's probably going to go, if it were to get going right now, it would go towards Dover and eventually Perry. So you might just keep that in mind. The other storm, north of it, would end up somewhere near Ponca City, I'm thinking, if it goes right now. So, also hearing from our storm trackers that there's other towers, smaller towers, trying to go up down the line to the southwest. So we'll keep an eye on it, watch it, but right now it's kind of the initiation phase. Stop and kind of take a look back down to the southwest and kind of show that storm. You can see it a little bit better now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a dirt road to pull off on it and kind of put the camera on that storm. they had dime-sized hail on the east side of O'Keene with that north storm. What the camera shot is looking at right now, and it's so hazy out here and so much cirrus that you can barely see it, but that's the north storm. The south storm is showing up a lot better visually. Since we get a road over here, we're going to turn off and look at it.
Lightning has increased with the one near O'Keene, right over here.
Okay.
The other cell is near Watonga. Now the one near O'Keene, the one in the shot, that one is moving really quickly. It's not severe yet.
That.
Okay, we are very near Dover, so we're just going to be southeast and northeast of those two cells.
I'm going to spot them. I think we're going to keep going north. A shot quick at this though.
Just a second. There we go. Yeah, sorry about the bouncing. We have a really stiff suspension right now. I'm trying to zip tie this to where it's a little bit tighter. We're still in the process of getting all of this secured, but yeah, it's just bumpy road, stiff suspension. Yeah, so the cell that we're looking at right now, that's going to be west-southwest of us. That's the one near Watonga, east of Watonga. It's moving northeast, so kind of right at our direction. Secure that there. Handy dandy zip ties.
Yeah, sure. It's probably a good idea if it works.
'Cause
So that shot there is looking west-southwest at the south storm or tower.
North wind increasing a little bit.
Okay, we're going north.
Okay, it is headed for Enid. This one has a pretty narrow updraft.
The north wind's really increasing.
So again, that tornado watch, it includes a large portion of Oklahoma, southern Kansas, and north Texas. So the primary threats are going to be wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour, tornadoes, and hail up to the size of 2.5 inch. We were looking at the supercell composite earlier, and it's through the roof over the next few hours. Pretty high numbers on that. Helicity is really, really high as well, which is basically the turning what these storms need to produce tornadoes, or the shear. What else have we looked at? Cave was approaching 3,000, kind of nosing up this direction, so yeah, it's so hazy. We do have a cirrus deck up there that's making everything real hazy looking, so with the approach of that upper storm. Tyler says he loves the YouTube stream. Thank you for watching. Appreciate that comment. Curtis asks, what is the severe weather probability at this current time for Texas and Oklahoma? And I would basically just answer that by saying there is a tornado watch in effect, with all modes of severe weather possible. So it's, looking at the models, it was kind of either, all or nothing today as far as the development of storms. If we can get storms to go, they're going to be severe. And the models have really been trending towards just discrete supercells and not very many, just a few. So somebody's going to get storms and somebody is not going to get storms. It's not going to be a widespread event. You just need to be weather aware and know what the track of these storms are as they go up. So right now, the trend has been this area that we're watching right now. And again, we're just north of Dover, northbound. This is Highway 81. And so this storm that we're watching, it's approaching Wacomas, heading towards Enid. And they're pretty fast moving at the moment, which means they're not really anchored at the surface yet. They're probably kind of high base, so as we get closer to this, we'll give you more information. Hello, Michelle Henry. Miss you so much. Glad you're tuning in and watching. Thank you. I'm kind of thinking my zip tie helped with the bouncing. What do you think?
Okay, they're doing a cut-in.
Okay. So we're about to go on air.
he's showing
Okay.
somebody's shot. I don't know whose.
Yeah, Cody, if you're playing baseball or softball right now, definitely keep an eye on this if you're in Enid. This storm, is moving into the tornado watch area, and, we expect these things to turn into supercells. So right now it's just in the development stages, so when it approaches Enid, it may not be there yet. So, just keep your eye on it. We'll help you have some updates here in a minute. Lightning is increasing with it. Phil says, bug out, Cody. Well, if anything, you're going to get some rain and some lightning. So we can kind of start to see the tops of that now. And again, like I said earlier, we've got a cirrus deck up there that is really impeding our visual on these. We're not seeing that classic tower, crisp tower, because there's just so many clouds in the way. But anyway, as we get closer, you can see it a little bit better. Area. We could have supercells develop anywhere along the dry line, along that line from Enid down to Carnegie, Snyder, down to Frederick. All of that's in the watch area, so they haven't formed yet. And I'm looking at satellite. There are some, enhanced cube down all the way down the line, so definitely needs to be watched. So if the storms are west of you, they're going to be moving northeast. So if they become supercells and really start rotating, they might turn right a little bit, which means they might be on a more northeast track. That was kind of what the helicity swaths, the storm motion was looking like earlier. Someone's checking in from Altus. So Altus has a southwest wind. Hollis is already dry-lined 88 over 29, so really dry air punching into western and southwest Oklahoma behind that dry line. There's always that threat of fires as well behind the dry line because the air, it's a really sharp dry line. So we have 60s out ahead of the dry line, so 62 dew point across central Oklahoma, and with that dry line, the dew point drops into the 20s, so it's super dry and the gusts are going to be pretty strong. But yeah, the winds at Altus are starting to swing around.
To the west?
Yeah, southwest. Altus is 88 over 54, so I think it's fixing to drop. Alright, how's the storm looking? Storm continues to increase, the one heading for Enid. With my best guess, I would say that if this were to produce any kind of, lowered base or anything of interest, then it would probably pass south and east of Enid, just the way it's going, but, that could change. But Enid's definitely going to get some rain, lightning, thunder, wind. probably hear pretty quick. So the one at Dover, Loyal, is kind of decreasing.
I mean, there's still other towers with it.
Yeah, the tower looked really narrow. Didn't look real meaty like this one. This one is pretty solid. Natasha, thanks for tuning in. Alright, you're headed to Hydro, so yeah, thanks for watching. Into Hennessy now. There's the water tower in Hennessy.
So Marty's saying this one to the north is high-based.
Yeah, I figured, but one thing to note is the last few scans it has slowed down.
Okay.
It was, I don't know, it was really booking it northeast. Let me see if I can get a update here. Yeah, right now it's probably running about almost 50 miles an hour.
Well, I mean, that's not bad for something that's high-based.
Right. I mean, it was a lot faster earlier. So,
yeah, if it's, slows down from that, we're probably talking 40.
Yeah.
And that's doable.
Yeah.
I can see that, look at the back edge of the towers back to the northwest right there.
Yeah.
Well, this reminds me a lot of April 26, 1991.
Really? Wow.
And where that's at.
Yeah. All right, Michelle, watching from Vancouver, Canada. Thank you for tuning in. We're new to streaming to YouTube just because we typically streamed on Facebook. Facebook's been real glitchy lately, so we decided to switch over to YouTube and hoping that we can get a better,
I'll tell you this,
clearer video.
So right now we're in Hennessy. Looking to the northwest, you can see pretty vigorous updraft towers going up to our northwest on the backside of the storm. I don't know, you probably can't see that from where you're at, Marty, but from here it looks pretty good.
Decreasing, but this one continues to increase.
Alright, so right now we're targeting the Wacomas storm. That's what we're calling it. It's fixing to move into Enid. Enid, you might pick up a little bit of hail with that. The storm is still trying to organize, it looks like. Has to be watched very, very closely. Conditions are right for tornadoes right now, so we'll just have to watch it.
still don't see any other cells going up yet along that line. That could change for sure. This storm actually went up in an area where the cirrus really broke up. Southwest Oklahoma, all along the dry line, further south, it's pretty cloud covered, which, I mean, we've seen that before, where if you have a lot of cirrus overshadowing, it just really limits the heating at the surface. But this storm actually went up in an area where the cirrus broke up a little bit, and the sunshine was able to hit the ground, warm things up a little bit. So, you know, just a few degrees difference can make a big difference. All right, so they just went severe on this storm. And it already has a mezzo indicated on radar.
Just went severe on it, guys.
Showing 1-inch hail, so it does have a hail core developing already.
Bits and pieces.
This is tracking northeast, and it's really slowed down, Val.
Yeah. I might call back and let me hang up and call back. Am I coming in choppy at all to you?
Yeah, it's taking on more of a cell configuration as well. They start to, I mean, it's linear, but it's starting to kind of look a little more supercellular.
All right, I'm back.
So that rotation, which I'm sure is not crazy yet because it is high-based, but it's probably going to start lowering. We should be able to see the base here pretty quick, and like I said, that cirrus is really inhibiting our view, but it's not far. We're pretty close, coming in pretty close. We're just south of Waukomis. And do you see the base out to the west now?
We're at the gate.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to see the bases unless you're just real close today. Just because it's so hazy.
What's that up there? Red lights flashing. Prepared.
Cheryl, yeah, we do need a new windshield. We already have a crack in this one. Another Canadian in the room,
Storm's
Sherry.
getting better.
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Paul, you're probably right about that. I would say average maybe 2 windshields a year, but we've gone through 4 before. Just because the crack is right in the wind, like right in the shot, we'll probably have to get it fixed.
So Marty's getting a little bit larger than pea-sized hail, 3 miles north of Drummond.
Okay. Haven't seen any MP reports yet. Make sure I have those turned on. West side of Enid, it's just about to get lots of rain, so those of you playing softball, I hope you're not still on the field. Lots of lightning and hail to your south, so keep that in mind.
Wow, man. Boy, that storm is cranking.
Yeah, boy, that's dynamic. Even though visually it's really hard to see because of all the clouds, you can tell that the updraft is pretty vigorous. Pretty solid.
What time?
What'd you say?
Said the HER still shows a big storm coming into the metro later.
Alright. So yeah, Val's talking about the HER model. It's one that we look at that's a short-term model. It does show a supercell coming into the Oklahoma City metro area later, so we might track this one a while, and depending on what happens, so it is expected that we might have some more develop further south later on. So that base is going to be just to our west, northwest.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of traffic. I love when I have 430 minutes on my SD card. It makes me feel a lot better. Alright, so I do see an imping report. It's just pea-sized hail just on the west-southwest side of Enid.
David is saying quarter to golf ball size hail is possible.
Okay, yeah. Radar scope is now showing golf balls.
Okay.
So it continues to increase, lightning increase, as well as hail size.
It's definitely the base.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
It's definitely the base.
Okay. Does it look high to you?
It's not high base.
It's not, okay. So we're starting to see the base. It's not high based.
So just from my vantage point, this thing does not look high based anymore.
you're from Enid and you're tuning in, be sure and let us know.
I'll just tell you this, I think all the big hail is aloft right now, and it's in strong updraft. And you're going to start seeing bigger hail come down pretty soon.
Okay, yes, we're halfway between Wacomas and Enid. This is Highway 81, so we're just south of Enid, northbound, looking northwest. And again, it's really hazy. We're getting closer though. We'll be able to give you a better shot here in just a second. But yeah, we clearly have the base in view over there in the blind spot. So yeah, let's see. Josh Newton says, do you remember the May 3rd, 99? Yeah, that was definitely an unforgettable experience for us. It was about 1 month before our wedding in 1999. And we tracked that all the way from Cyril into 149th and May is where we ran out of gas that day. But I'll tell you, it was horrific and something we learned a lot from. And it was incredible to see the people of Oklahoma come together. We all learned a lot. Really prepared us for 2013. I think we did things a lot differently then, just because we learned so much from it.
Inflow band right there.
I know, yeah.
So we might just go east.
So that cloud that you see, that's like an inflow tail, or what you might call like a beaver tail. It's basically clouds forming, and it's basically the moisture is being pulled into that main updraft, which is in the blind spot. But yeah, when you see that, you know that it's really strong and it's really pulling in air from the mid-level there.
Big feeder band right over Enid.
Dow called it a feeder band, so it's called a lot of things. Sometimes we make up our own names for things. The southern cell, the one that is going away near Dover and Loyal, is picking up just a little bit. It's right on the west side of Hennessy right now, putting some rain down. So it hasn't completely gone away, so that one's still there. But as far, I'm starting to see some returns down by Wichita Falls.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Nope, I do not see it lowering. I mean, I see a couple spots that you go. Okay. Well, we're looking west, and I don't really see any pronounced lowerings. I mean, it's kind of a little flat at the moment, but looks like it. There's a pretty decent inflow band coming right into the base, going right over the center of Enid here. It's one of those bases that looks like it's trying to get its act together, and it will.
We had a 1 inch from the emergency manager.
Yeah, quarter size hail that David had said a while ago that there were quarters in Enid, so I don't know if is that coming from
the emergency manager here reported 1 inch just north of here, so.
Okay.
So quarter size has been reported, and let's see. Yeah, it kind of goes back and forth between golf ball and quarter size.
Hey Justin, do you have any change in direction of movement? Okay. This is continuing to move north-northeast. So I'm just still trying to decide where to go from once we get into Enid here.
So Josh, you're asking about Illinois tomorrow. So yeah, the day 2 does have a moderate risk for the extreme southern part of Illinois with a 15% hatched area for tornadoes. And basically what that means is the probability of a tornado within 25 miles of a given point would have like, you know, a 10 to 15% chance of an EF2 to EF5 within that point, of 25 miles within that point. So when you see a hatched area like that, it's just usually indicating the probability of larger, stronger tornadoes. So that does include southern Illinois for tomorrow. Alright, we are in Enid. See a little bit of like curb, deep water, a little bit of street flooding. Not too bad. Still watching the base. Right now it's just kind of flat.
Yeah.
I really feel like the storm is still organizing.
Yeah, I think it is, and it's still a slight bit high-based.
Yeah, it is. Like it just a slight bit.
You know, the storm seems like to be, it's still trying to get organized, and it's still maybe a slight bit high-based. Maybe just a slight bit. And the base is kind of flat and really disorganized at the moment. Eyes open to the back. I can't look all the time.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure there's not going to be a lowering forming.
Boy,
Got a bump coming.
it looks very solid.
Let me see if I can see. They're not strong. They're light, and I turned east. I'm about a mile east of the north-south road. I don't even see a flag. The trees are not moving much. Excellent. Okay.
Do you want to turn around and get a shot? Like what? Are they about to go to the weather? It's 6:12.
They will in minutes. Okay, we can.
Okay. Maybe right up here in that parking lot.
3 minutes.
That's a pretty
Does it
good
look all right?
open area. Maybe on the hill
Okay.
if there's a parking lot. Oh yeah, perfect. Alright, so we're going to show you guys the base. So far it's been behind us.
I'm going to pull off right here.
Wow, this thing is really large. So there's kind of an area, like right in here, you can kind of tell that there's some structure.
Justin, there's a shot of the base for you. And we're kind of on the east side of Enid looking west. This is a shot of the base. We're on the east side of Enid looking west. So it looks like we have some new precip forming on the south end of this base, kind of on the south end of where the storm is. So to the left. Okay.
So this area that we're looking at is indicating shear on radar. Hail size has increased to 1.75, which is golf balls. And seeing a little bit of movement, but not any organized rotation at the moment.
What radar site were you looking at just
that's TLX, so I don't know, we probably should switch over to Vance.
That's hitting it pretty high.
Yeah. I mean, it's still same thing here.
Which one did you tighten up? This one?
Oh, this one? Up and down. This one.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Right there. Seeing a little bit of scud trying to form. Not crazy. As soon as they're done with us, we need to bust east and north.
Okay.
All right, here's what we're looking at. We are on the east side of Enid, looking west and northwest here at this storm. He's not going to use our shot, is he? Because we need to move. Okay, he's coming to us.
Okay.
Yeah, so David, what we're looking at is we're on the east side of Enid right now, looking west and northwest at this developing storm. I will say that the base is not super organized at the moment, but it looks like to me it's starting to get more organized. We're seeing some scud. You can see a little bit of that in our shot. We had a little bit more earlier trying to form beneath the base. So in general, David, this thing is gradually strengthening and getting better organized. Back to you.
I feel like the meat of it is kind of here.
We need to bust.
Yeah. It's moving for sure.
Yeah. And I think it's trying to backfill that direction. But we don't want this part to get away from us here. biggest that was reported in Enid that I saw. Not gotten organized yet, but it's trying.
Size on this is showing baseballs right now.
Right.
2.75 indicated on radar. So when you see that, you know it's really getting strong.
It's going about 85.
So this is moving up towards Blackwell, Tonkawa. It's going to cross I-35 somewhere up there. See this road there? Could go up to that. We'll see. Yeah, I think we've taken that before. Breckenridge Road. It's developing a little bit of a notch right there. Yeah. To Breckenridge. We're still watching the base pretty close. Yeah. The only other thing is the ones across the Red River. Yeah, I know.
wait and make better time going east. Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, it's going north in a hurry.
I know, man, it is. We need to go in a hurry. Yeah, we need to go.
So right now we're just getting in position. So you still see it right off our left shoulder.
hasn't completely rooted yet.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that's why it's moving so fast.
Yeah. I mean, it looks relatively high base, like it was trying to lower, but I mean, as long as it stays that high based, it's going to be moving fast.
Enid. Just look at Enid here. That's just not showing up.
Yeah, I mean, that just indicates that it's higher based for sure. Yeah, I'm looking at the dew points. The dew points are about 61, feeding into that. I just don't think it's taking advantage of it.
You can see it. It's right there.
Yes.
But so far kind of weak.
Alright, we're just south of Billings in that area of rotation. It's going to be west of Billings, southeast of Hunter. And as soon as we get up here to I-35, we're going to go north and try to intercept as it gets closer to I-35. Still got some developing to do if it gets any stronger. Right now it's showing hail size of 3-inch on radar.
Say that again. He's gonna have to bring one of us down there. David, what were you saying?
Yeah, it looks like a cell.
Alright, we'll do it.
Cell is developing south of Hinton.
We'll do it. We'll go south.
We bailing?
What?
Bailing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, it's probably gonna do something on down the line, obviously, but we got so many people up here. Absolutely. We're just about to 35 now. 3 or 4 more miles.
Yeah, the short-term model that we're
say go south, right?
It's been very consistent,
All right.
showing a large supercell closer to Oklahoma City metro area. This one is going to exit our DMA, and so once that happens, it's important for us to track the storms that are within our realm.
Yeah, forget that one. They've got us turned around, and we're almost back to I-35 east of Enid, and they've got us headed back to the metro for, there's some towers going up out west, and they're worried about those. I think the models are showing there's a storm later on that comes through Oklahoma City, so you might think about maybe going east to I-35, or maybe going straight south from Enid and going back down to that area, because I don't think you'll catch us. a good cell on the state line where? Okay, well, that's one of the things they're worried about. They're going to shift some of our trackers south of that, and they've only got 2 in the metro. They need us and another one to come south as well. So that's what we're doing.
Alright, so the latest MCD for that area that includes that cell approaching Tonkawa.
Well,
basically, it says that...
Yeah, you might do that. You might just go ahead and do that and keep your eyes out, because I think that might be the better thing. This storm's going to be in Kansas, and it's kind of going to be in some unchaseable areas too, hard to chase areas.
So basically, the MCD is indicating that the area with this cell approaching Tonkawa will develop more of a tornado threat as it goes northeast. So once it gets more into Kansas, that area is a little more favorable. And so that's basically what the latest MCD says. So that threat will continue to increase gradually as it continues northeast.
He's doing a cut in.
Cut in? Okay.
nothing, silence. And then they said, he came back on. I said, what happened? He said, man, I had a double mute on. I had the mute on my phone, and then I didn't see the one on the truck. And on his screen on the truck, it had a mute on it for some reason.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Alright, so that rainless storm has 1.25 indicated. It's ramping up. Still looks kind of strange.
What does? Up there?
No, the one down below.
Oh.
I mean, that one too. They all look a little strange.
Well, look at the herd if you get a chance.
Okay.
by now when something's not conducive, I guess you could say, which is a good thing. I'm glad it hasn't. And maybe we can keep it that way for a while. Maybe the helicity hasn't really ramped up yet. I mean, it probably is waiting on the low level jet.
Yeah.
I was gonna say dew points, but the dew points up there, 60, 61. How far southwest?
It's from Noble, includes Chickasha, all the way down to Wichita Falls.
Is that the west edge of it?
That's the bullseye, basically.
Okay, I'm going to stop here for a minute. And are you in a good cell area? Or do I need to go on that hill?
It doesn't matter my cell area because I've already, even if we go into a hole, we'll keep streaming.
That storm, or that little echo that's down near Calumet, it's going to move eventually pretty much right over us.
I'm still trying to get the graphic on it.
That thing is trying to get a little bit of organization going. But it's, I mean,
all right, here it is. All right, so basically the MCD put out by the SPC is talking about large hail, severe wind, but gradually transitioning to an increasing tornado threat.
oh wow, can you show me the graphic?
Yeah, so that includes Chickasha, Noble, comes all the way up to Norman. I mean, obviously that can be expanded later.
Okay.
But basically they are monitoring those storms that crossed the Red River. So those storms did have a trend of splitting. And basically what we're waiting on is a low-level jet. And that's going to be the support for enlarging that risk of tornadoes. So let's see, read the rest of this.
Storms to the south don't look as strong, don't look visually as strong, but radar indicates bigger hail with them.
One thing to note in this discussion from the SPC is they are mentioning the word strong tornado, so that's usually pretty significant, you know, when they do talk about that. So right now storms are splitting, they're not very organized, and we're talking about the cells that cross the Red River in southwest Oklahoma, but as those track northeastward, they are going to become more and more favorable for tornadoes. So our plan is to continue south and see if something new develops further up the line, or if that's going to be the main show, then we'll get in position.
That's what I was thinking, looking at it. To me, it looks like the best one.
That's heading for Duncan.
Probably play any storms that might come into the OKC area. Unless it just becomes obvious nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, it's crazy. That one northeast of Walters was a left split, and it actually has some rotation, probably wrong way rotation, clockwise, on the north side of it. Right for Newkirk. It's going to be in Kansas pretty quick.
Yeah.
So currently we're north of Guthrie, southbound I-35, and our next move is to wait on any storms that develop along the line west of the Oklahoma City metro area, or intercept the storms that are coming up from the Red River. And they're still kind of in that developing stage. They've split a couple of times, but as the low-level jet increases, as the sun sets and we get more of a sheared environment, then that tornado threat's going to go up. So that's what we're going to track. Like it's on track for Duncan, so let's see what it does.
So the storm to the north that we were on, that is moving up towards Blackwell.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be south of Blackwell.
Okay, it's going to go south of Blackwell. Still has not been tornado warned, which is a good thing. Still has a severe warning on it. I have not seen any gigantic hail with it. The rotations seems to be in the mid and upper levels of the storm, but it's not really getting it down to the surface. So all in all, that so far has looked good. Now we don't know what's going to happen a little bit later. The tornado potential looks to be like it might be increasing as the evening goes on. But so far so good. That storm will be moving into Kansas pretty soon. They've got us headed south down I-35, and we're going to go back and cover any new storms that pop up near the metro, west of the metro, even south of the Oklahoma City area. So that's what's up. He's doing a cut in right now. See any out to the west? Maybe that little echo that's showing up, you don't see anything. I mean, it really hasn't done anything.
Yeah, that thing kind of went away. It's south of Kingfisher now.
Up 200 miles, and I'm just barely below full.
That's a lot.
Speed stuff. Yeah, that's what I like. Good job.
The Duncan one, or the one that's gonna move toward it's got a mezzo with it.
Well, Hank, all he sees is a base.
Okay.
I don't know how close he is. There's nothing crazy going on. north.
Which one? When you say north, what do you mean?
This one. I mean, this one's only showing one inch. The one way up there we just left.
Oh, okay.
I mean, and it never has shown anything really bigger than that, has it?
Are you talking about the one going into Kansas?
I'm talking about the one north of us.
Yeah, that thing had 3-inch hail earlier.
Oh. Well, I didn't see any reports of it.
Oh, but it had 2 reports of golf balls west of I-35.
Okay.
We were talking about that a while ago.
Well, it might be getting stronger then.
Yeah, you're right. It's showing 1-inch hail right now. Maybe it's really weakening. But like we talked about before, it's moving out of the higher Cape the further northeast it goes. And, you know, when you have less instability, it was already kind of high base to begin with. I really don't see an improvement with dew points either, like further east you go. So, I don't know. I see a 1-inch hail report south of Blackwell. Pea-sized hail. Some reported pea-sized hail on I-35. So, yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of large hail, even though for a time it showed 3-inch. I've yet to see a 3-inch report.
Hey, look out there.
Hey, look at that. So there is, I wonder if that's the same tower earlier. Let me check.
Where is that?
Well, what direction? We're kind of going around a curve. Yeah, straight west of us.
We just noticed there's seeing a tower straight west of us. We're pretty much south edge of Guthrie, far north Edmond.
That was
And
when it
there's a
disappeared.
tower out there. I mean, it's not exploding or anything like that, but it's there. First we've seen it.
The blinds.
Okay. That thing is not even showing up on radar, is it?
Well, it's the one that weakened that came out of Carnegie. Alright, we're going to take a quick break. We will be back.
We're going to be out of the truck for a second. anything?
I just got one. Okay, so radar update, the Newkirk storm, that was the storm we were on before, has really weakened some. It's by Newkirk, hail size has really come down. It really moved out of the higher instability. And I mean, it still could do something after dark as it continues on northeast, but I don't know, I just think it's going to continue to weaken.
Has that look to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But the storms that cross the Red River further south, they are in the highest cape right now. So basically the latest MCD indicated that these are expected to increase, especially with the low-level jet increasing as the sun sets. So that's why we're going to continue south. Okay, so you're going to get cut in.
He's doing it. He's doing it.
Okay.
Probably not going to come to us.
We have clear skies.
I don't know if I really want to go any further south at the moment.
Do you still think something's going to develop?
What's that?
You think something's going to develop?
Well, if something develops along I-40, like the herd was trying to show, it's going to move like towards Stillwater.
Yeah. Alright, so location update. We are south of Guthrie, I-35, and we're just kind of waiting. There's a little bit of a tower you can see to our west. That was something that tried to go up near Carnegie. You know, the models have showed storms, you know, forming in this area and affecting the metro, even up through Stillwater. So that's what we're kind of waiting on. Those storms down there have weakened.
The ones down there, what?
Have weakened.
Yeah. To me, they never really... None of these storms ever looked like they just utterly exploded. And I mean, it's possible those down there still could be a little high-based as well.
Let's see what the latest HERS says. Yeah, latest HERS wacko. So the latest HERS showing around 3 a.m. storms developing in southwest Oklahoma. Looks like a big mess of rain though, is what it looks like.
Perfect timing.
With the nest sure got it wrong.
Yeah. Pretty wimpy. Well, $18 StormTrackers. Alright, so here's what's going on. The dry line, it has not really initiated. What you're looking at over there in the shot is a little tower that's to our west, not really doing anything. The storm to the north is moving into Kansas and weakening. The storms to the south are also kind of weakening. They're strong. So there's the dry line, I guess you could say the dry line storms, the chance for that to really happen is kind of dwindling because we have lost our daytime heating. The next thing that's going to happen is the forcing with the upper wave that's going to come in overnight. And when I say overnight, I'm talking about 2 to 4 a.m. But the models indicate really a pretty incredible air mass for this time of year. Very, very unstable, very strong shear overnight. Dew points in the mid and upper 60s. That's pretty crazy. And the SPC was also talking about tornado parameters ramping up overnight as well. So it looks like it's going to take a break for a while until then. And the models are kind of showing that as well. So we are going to go ahead and turn off the live stream for a while until things start going again. I just want to give a special thanks to our sponsor, Belter Roofing. I know I say this every live stream we get, but they truly are a good company. You know, if you're looking for a roofing contractor to do your house that has integrity, that's what Belter is. And so if you have any roof damage, especially from that windstorm, they're getting lots and lots of calls from the day the fires happened on March 14th with all the wind. There's a lot of damage from shingles being blown off. They do free inspections. All you got to do is give them a call, Belter Roofing, and I think we have a link on the Facebook Live, on the YouTube Live, right?
Not the YouTube Live, but it would be. Yeah, I can add it there, but okay. It's on Facebook as well.
So yeah, give them a call if you got any roofing needs at all. I know that they are going to be doing a house that we own because up in Stillwater, because the fire came close to it, burned down the back fence, and also damaged the roof shingles a little. So they're working with the insurance adjuster now just to kind of figure out what kind of damage has been done. So I'm getting to see them in action as well. And man, there's a lot more involved than what you might think. And they know their stuff for sure. So anyway, if I were you, I would, if you live in Oklahoma, especially central, eastern, northern, southern, even a little ways into western Oklahoma, just keep a close eye tonight, overnight. I sure would hate to see something crazy happen overnight because most people are asleep, hard to see the storms coming. You know, it takes people by surprise. It's pretty dangerous. So just, you know, keep abreast of the weather and make sure you're alerted, you know, if there happens to be a tornado warning. The models that we just looked at show storms moving right up I-44 from, say, Lawton area all the way up to Oklahoma City and south in those areas, and some other storms going on up to the north as well. So that is definitely something to watch for tonight. So anyway, thanks for watching. We will probably come back on sometime in the middle of the night.